Hi, this is John Sperling, Head of Product Management at Aras. I'd like to take you through a tour of everything we've done within Aras Innovator from the introduction of version 12 until now. This includes all product components, including the platform, applications, and connectors, plus some platform infrastructure updates and new subscriber benefits. All of these are reasons why Aras subscribers should upgrade to version 12. But first, a quick overview of Aras Innovator. We use this red box analogy to explain what the product does. The red box is something you can count on where, based on an input, your great ideas, you get a known output, great products going out your door. You are confident of what it can do, and it simplifies something that's complex. Let's take a look at what's inside the box. We see something that resembles a common circuit board with components. The board represents the platform. The components represent the applications. These are the standard ones that we provide. They perform work in specific areas supported by the platform. Just like real components, they can be replaced or updated. One consequence of this is that they are released separately from the platform. Because the applications are sitting on the same platform, they are all interconnected, just like a real circuit board. This interconnection makes possible a true digital thread. But we don't expect customers to just use our standard application suite as is. Maybe some of them don't apply to their business. And for the others, they'll modify them to fit their process. They'll add some of their own applications as well. All of this is done through low-code modeling supported by the platform. But there's some magic here to this platform because of what we can do from here. We provide an upgrade service such that when we release a new version of the platform, we just swap it out for you, leaving all your customized applications in place. If we release a new application, that can be upgraded as well, again, leaving your customizations in place. We provide this upgrade service at no additional charge for subscribers. To put an analogy on top of an analogy, when I lease my car subscription, if you will, I get free service included. With this approach, I am much more inclined to bring the car in for service to keep it running like new. We certainly encourage customers to keep up with our latest updates in the same way. But let's start over with the picture of our standard applications. There's another approach customers can take if the business processes they're trying to address are not a close fit with our standard applications. They can remove all of them and build with Aras to create all new applications. The way it works is almost literally like as shown here. You just grow the applications right out of the platform with the low-code modeling capabilities provided. So let's close up the box. Now you've got the red box suited to your company's processes. Add your company logo and you're off and running. Before we get into details of product enhancements in 12, let's take a look at the big picture of how Aras Innovator 12 compares to our previous major release, Aras Innovator 11. In Aras Innovator 11, we had a number of service packs. In fact, we ended up at service pack 15. During the time that we were developing these service packs of 11, the average time between them was 14 weeks, and it varied quite a bit depending on the amount of functionality we were putting in each release. As we moved to 12 and established new development processes based on SAFe, including automated testing, we've been able to establish a regular cadence of 6 weeks through our latest release of SP9, and we're working towards a goal of even improving that to a cadence of 4 weeks. On top of this, in 11, we did not have a complete support matrix in terms of having every application supported on every platform release. This meant that you had to be very selective of what service pack you might be able to take, depending on what applications you were running. In 12, we have a full application support matrix. The result of these two factors, the faster cadence and the full matrix, is much more flexibility for customers to adopt new releases when they want. We don't expect any given customer to take every service pack, but the fact that they're coming more quickly means you can move up to a new release at any time, and you don't have to worry about which release is necessary to support your applications. So overall, from 11 to 12, we've moved from this world of discrete deliveries to a world of continuous flow of functionality. Let's look at the support matrix in more detail. This is the actual support matrix taken from our subscriber portal online, and what we're seeing is down the left edge are the platform releases, which are 12.0 and then the service packs such as 12.0 SP1, SP2, SP3, etc. Across the top, you see our various applications such as product engineering and program management. Below the names of the applications, you see various releases. The application release format has a different nomenclature, which is 12.0 R and a number like 12.0 R1, which means the first release of the application on the platform. So you can see inside the matrix, there are green boxes showing certified and yellow boxes showing supported. The yellow just means we've retested the existing application on a new service pack. There is no difference in the level of support from Aras, whether the boxes are green or yellow. The other thing to be aware of here, which you can see over to the left, is that our standard policy is to support each Aras Innovator release for 30 months from the original product release date, after which the release is designated as end of life. Once a release is designated as end of life, Aras will no longer support the release and thus will not provide bug fixes, updates, or perform QA or acceptance testing of applications with respect to the release. So it is in the interest of all customers to move up and keep current on releases so that they can stay within active support. So back to this difference between 11 and 12, because we used to have this notion of discrete deliveries, we have had this Aras public roadmap for quite some time where we were targeting features to specific releases. We're moving towards a new public roadmap which will show the continuous flow of these features in the way that we view them from within development. So you can see here that there will be columns indicating features which are released and what version they're in, features that are being implemented and a target version that they're coming in, features in backlog, meaning that they are well understood by product management and so are ready to be developed at any point, and then features that are in analyzing, meaning that they are still being studied and being readied for potential development. So this will provide a much better way for customers to engage with Aras product management to discuss what's coming up on the roadmap. Okay, so to look at the overview of the product enhancements in 12, we've established 5 major themes that we'll use to describe them, which are improve user productivity, enhance visualization, optimize core PLM, expand functionality, and advance configurability. First, let's talk about how we've delivered significant usability updates to the Aras web client. These are improvements to help every Aras user get their work done faster. Please note that as we review all these enhancement topics, that each one will list the specific release when it was first available, whether it's a platform service pack or an application release number. Okay, so let's get started. First topic is increased productivity with a streamlined user experience. So here's a few examples. We have a new start page. This provides an initial page that you'll see when you log in, providing a clean and simple tiled view of your available applications. Next, we have done a lot of work with toolbar reorganization. So starting in 12, we took a top to bottom view of all toolbars and menus and restructured them for clarity and consistency, emphasizing important commands such as search and clear, as you see here, and then de-emphasizing lesser used commands under drop-down menus such as export to Excel. In the lower left here, another aspect of that streamlining of the toolbars was to improve the item editing functions. So before in 11, we had the notion of when you wanted to edit an item, you would click lock and then you would do your work and then you would click save, unlock, and close. Now we have simple functions like edit to go into edit mode and then save, done, or discard. So very straightforward and intuitive. Finally, improved menus. So we've gotten away from very flat menu structures to a multi-level structure which clearly matches the layout and the icon designation of the toolbars. We also accelerate innovation through flexible multitasking. What does that mean? Well, over on the left side of the client, we have the table of contents. We've had this general concept for years, but now we have a new what we call navigation panel that contains that table of contents with more functions to quickly get to the work you need to do. Over on the right, opening multiple tabs is a big feature of 12, and no longer are you restricted to one search list as you were in 11. Now you can have as many searches active and as many items active as you want. Plus, there are new functions to easily reorder the tabs. Close all tabs to the right, close all tabs to the left, things like that. In the lower left, we have freeze columns in relationship grids. So this is the ability that existed previously in main search grids to keep some columns fixed on the left-hand side. Split screen mode provides a very convenient way to interactively set up a side-by-side mode so you can dock selected tabs with content on the left, such as a search grid, and then as you open items, things will automatically open on the right, so you can quickly work between the two sides for many common PLM activities. Efficient search across your digital thread. A big part of efficiency is performance, so we have done some work on the technology side to improve search performance across the search and relationship grids. In enterprise search, which is our full text search across items and files, we have refreshed the UI, enhanced faceted search, and allow you to have multiple searches open at once. We have a new function called Quick Search, which in the navigation panel allows you to just type in a name of a known item and quickly open it without having to first open a complete search grid. Within the search grid, there's new functions like being able to save your current layout, so you can return to the layout of columns that you like to work with, and also the convenience of being able to create a new item directly from the search. Then we can accelerate your work through personalization. A lot of ability to customize what you see on the screen, what you work with. So favorites is a big addition in 12. This extends what we had before with save searches, which are now called favorite searches. In addition, being able to save favorite items and store them on the quick access panel on the left, so you can easily get back to that item or that search. Pinned item types enables you to quickly access item types that you frequently use and bypass the use of the entire table of contents, so you can just click on the part icon in the sidebar and it goes directly to the functions related to parts. You can also save the current state of the relationship grid, again, the layout of the columns that you work with, which are saved per item type and are independent of the state you save for the main search grid. And some additional interface updates. Some further work on performance was done to improve the time to save larger structures, such as bomb structures. We've improved what we call the item view. So where you have your form and your relationships, we now have an accordion style view, which provides a more modern way to interact with the item, expand and collapse and open tabs and so forth. Even small things we worked on in 12 based on customer feedback, things like more clearly indicating the current lifecycle state in the yellow color that you see here. Also, there's a nice convenience feature of being able to show complete content of a property in a search grid if the width of the column is too small. And this includes even long multi-line text fields that can be viewed quickly without having to open the item. As product designs increase in complexity, it becomes more and more important to be able to view and navigate your product data. This is what this section is about. So to visualize relationships in the digital thread, we have a powerful capability called graph navigation. Graph navigation was introduced late in 11 in SP15 and has been enhanced quite a bit in 12. Graphs can be either ad hoc or based on a defined query. And the first places to make use of these specific queries are in the new simulation management and systems architecture applications, which we'll talk about in a minute. But in general, the enhancements we've made here in graph navigation are the ability to auto-expand a graph so you don't have to manually expand every level. And you can expand and collapse on the left side for incoming or where used relationships separately from the outgoing relationships on the right, which makes for a clearer layout. And we can also configure graph navigation as a sidebar view, as we see here. Moving on, we have hierarchical displays, which are very conveniently modeled and displayed using tree grid views. This is something that's been available for quite a while in 11, but we've significantly enhanced it in 12. Some of the things we've done are being able to export the view to Excel. do column sorting, and the ability to do structure resolution, which is leveraged in our BOM effectivity. Ability to auto-expand when you refresh to show new content, and parameters to filter the content of the tree grid view, and support for date and time format. In 12, we also integrated tree grid views into product engineering on tabs such as BOM structure, meaning that those views are now configurable. Next, we have a completely new capability in 12, which we call dynamic product navigation. So this is much beyond what we've had previously in 11, which showed only a fixed monolithic assembly view of a 3D model. Here we're able to assemble views of 3D models on the fly using what we call shattered geometry. So we could basically define a recipe of how the geometry should be combined on things such as effectivity or a specific digital twin representation, and then configure what's displayed in the 3D view as well as in the tree view on the left. Speaking of tree grid view, which we discussed before, this is now leveraged here in the 3D viewer, which is much different than traditional 3D viewers. This is really showing PLM information and giving users a nice way to navigate to that PLM information based on their knowledge of the physical product. One recent enhancement was to add what's called 3D Query Processor API, which provides support for alternative data models beyond our standard CAD documents. So you can show the models by browsing a part structure that has related CAD documents or a related physical part structure for a digital twin. So very powerful capability to flexibly configure 3D displays. We've also added the ability to save views and also done quite a bit of work on performance for this dynamic viewer. So we're really excited about this new 3D capability in 12. All right, so our next section is about optimizing core PLM, and this represents improvements to some of our most commonly used PLM capabilities. So let's start with the most frequently used application in Aras Innovator, product engineering. This is really the core of PLM, and this is all about parts and bills of material and documents and CAD documents and changes and all of that. The big story in 12 is the introduction of effectivity management on BOM structures so that you can manage multiple BOM configurations in one structure. We support date, model, and unit effectivity options out of the box, and it's possible to configure others. We also now support configurable permissions for how you deal with released part BOMs, and there's some other enhancements to PE, including improvements to the add items action for change management. So in terms of document management, Office Connector is our most popular connector, and the big news in 12 is the addition of Visio as the first new Office application in quite a while. We can now refresh configurations such as property mappings without closing the Office application. We have the ability to create PDF-A for archiving purposes and can also save PDFs that have markups and change tracking done within Word. So nice enhancements to Office Connector. Component engineering is our application for electronic component management, and it leverages a normalized part database from IHS Markit with over 500 million parts. In 12, CE now supports the RoHS 3 directive by providing data for additional restricted substances. The manufacturing part update utility allows customers to mass update their manufacturer parts to include new data that's being added from the IHS database. And then finally, we have a new move and copy environment command, which helps with setting up multiple Aras CE environments, such as production, development, and testing. One of our MCAD integrations is the SolidWorks PDM Pro connector. We've done some significant enhancements here in 12, including the fact that you can now directly add parts and CAD documents that are managed through the connector to an Aras change item, such as an ECO. We've added support for bidirectional property mapping so that you can get metadata flowing back and forth between the SolidWorks CAD files and Aras, and improve the way that we handle the default configuration for BOM creation. And we continue to stay current with the latest versions of both SolidWorks and PDM Pro. So now let's look at some new applications that we've added in 12 that expand our breadth of application functionality throughout the product lifecycle. First of all, a new application called Requirements Engineering. It was released right at the end of 11 on SP15, so it's new to most subscribers. It provides a complete web-based editor for directly capturing requirements text and graphics based on our TechDocs framework. Requirements can be reused across different documents and related to other PLM items such as parts. We believe that requirements in PLM are the cornerstone of digital thread traceability, and being able to manage them this way is much better than legacy tools such as doors. The next new application is called Digital Twin Core. It provides the foundation of constructing and maintaining digital twins using physical parts and physical BOMs. This provides traceability back to the originating engineering parts, and it becomes the basis for visualization, simulation, and analytics of digital twins. Systems architecture is a new application which provides the basis for systems thinking, allowing customers to define system models to connect all design disciplines. The data model includes functional and logical elements and connects to requirements engineering for requirements and to product engineering for parts. This data model is the basis for MBSE tool integrations. Simulation management is a new application that supports simulation process and data management. It establishes the system of record for simulations performed by analysts, linking to design artifacts in PLM, and then allowing results to be viewed across the enterprise. In this next section, we'll discuss some new additions to our low-code platform that advance your ability to configure Aras Innovator to meet your business requirements. In Release 11, we began introducing new advanced levels of access control. First, MAC, mandatory access control, and then DAC, domain access control, to add to the standard role-based access control. We have continued to refine these access control options in 12, both in terms of functionality and in terms of performance. A couple of examples here. On the left, we have a new item access report that lets you check individual items to see what access rights have been granted across all these different mechanisms, which can be used in parallel. On the right, MAC has been extended with support for derived attributes, supporting some more complex use cases formerly only available with DAC. Query Builder has evolved into one of our premier platform services, enabling capabilities we've already discussed like tree grid view, dynamic product navigation, and graph navigation. We continue to add to its modeling capabilities as well. You see some of the topics here like enhanced structure navigation, supportive parameters, which are then exposed to tree grid views as well, and then being able to save these query results to a file for debugging purposes to help the administrator when defining complex queries. As we've improved the client usability, we've also improved client configurability. CUI, or Configurable User Interface, is our primary modeling capability for customizing the client UX. In 12, we expanded it beyond its initial toolbar focus and now allow item views to be modeled as you see on the left. So rather than just having the form shown in the top accordion and all relationships in the second accordion, you can create any layout you want. The top example shows 2 tabs in the top accordion, and the bottom example shows a total of 3 accordions. You could also just have 1 accordion with all tabs in it. Setting list values as inactive was added by request from some customers where it was a regulatory requirement. If a list value was previously used but then is decided to be no longer valid, data that has the old value is still displayed and is searchable, but that value cannot be used going forward. Also leveraging CUI, Configurable User Interface, administrators can now set graph and tree grid views to be accessible from the item sidebar, and in general, the technical architecture of the sidebar has been improved as well to better support custom views. Technical Document Framework is our platform capability for authoring document content used in applications like requirements engineering. In 12, we have improved its functionality and ease of use, for example, the ability to create mapped document elements. This allows you to insert property values from other items directly into the body of the document, establishing connections in the digital thread. Now let's take a look at a few platform infrastructure updates. First of all, we've had some changes in the platform support matrix focused on staying current with modern technology. So on the browser side of things, we did drop Internet Explorer in SP6, and in parallel with that, we dropped Windows 7 as a client operating system. For server operating system, we added Windows Server 2019 and dropped Windows Server 2008 R2. On the database side, we added SQL Server 2017 and 2019 and dropped SQL Server 2008 R2. And then next, a couple interesting developments on the platform technology side to help drive IT productivity. We've introduced Snapshot Isolation Mode, which is an optional configuration that support can help set up to mitigate SQL deadlock problems. Also, we are supporting telemetry of your Aras Innovator environment using an integration with Azure Monitor Application Insights to assist in diagnostics of your system. Finally, let's talk about some exciting new enhanced subscriber benefits. First of all, we have a brand new subscriber portal with lots of new functionality. Enhanced access to your support incidents, easier access to get your license keys, searching of documentation, being able to add team members, and of course, the Aras product roadmap. In terms of your ability to install service packs on release 12, which of course are a subscriber benefit, the Aras Update utility now directly supports installation of service packs. Previously, this was limited only to applications. Now you can install service packs, so it's much more doable for customers to install on their own. And as I mentioned before, the full support matrix gives you more flexibility to install new service packs since all applications are supported on each one. So overall, the ease of getting to new service packs once you're up on 12 is much better than what you would have experienced on 11. And then finally, some new training opportunities, including enhanced online training courses with better course material and the fact that all courses are available to be attended remotely. So it's time to move up to the future. To start planning for your Aras upgrade, visit the subscriber portal and review the planning tools provided. Review the information I've gone through in this presentation and request your upgrade. We're waiting to hear from you and excited to get you up to version 12. Thanks for watching.